us on Zoom is the Vice Rector for Research, Community Service and Partnerships of Indonesian University of Education, or UPI Bandung, Professor Agus Setiabudi. Good afternoon, Professor Agus.
Hello, good afternoon. Nice to be here again.
And also an observer of education, Ibu Itje Chodidjah. Good afternoon, Ibu Itje. Okay, I do believe Bu Itje would like to unmute.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
And today,
Good afternoon.
Today we are going to be also joined later by Putu Riski, a teacher at Sekolah, Rakyat. But I think we will just begin this talk about preparing the golden generation of Indonesia. I would like to start from Ibu Itje. As an education observer, how do you see the current readiness of Indonesia's education in shaping a golden generation?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I think if you are asking me whether we are ready or not, whether or not we have to be ready, because time will come. 2045, biggest highlight for all of us, the whole stakeholder of education to think about improving the level of literacy of Indonesian young people. When we talk about the literacy, whether the institutions who does the survey, perfect or not perfect, we have already had the picture of the level of the literacy, which is until today remains at the level, at the very low level. This should be the biggest highlight for all of us in Indonesia to improve the quality of literacy. If literacy is low, I think there will be lots of problems in the society, in all aspects of life, in economics, in social life, in politics, in all aspects of life. So I guess the effort should be focused on improving the level of literacy.
Okay, I would like to have a follow-up question about the literacy stuff. And we know that literacy is very important and the level of literacy in Indonesia is kind of worrying, isn't it? But then I would like to know, in which part of the education or perhaps the society that causes the low literacy in our country, in which part and what we can do about it?
I think what we have to pay attention is at the level of early education to high school, because this range of age, the range of age where children develop their literacy very fast or very slow, depending on the environment where they learn. They learn at school, right? So that's why I think this is a time for all of us to pay attention on the level of the quality of teachers and how they give the learning experience for the students to improve their literacy. I think this level of early childhood to high school is the critical moment where children learn how to improve their literacy.
Okay, so early education to high school, because this is the most crucial moment to form the children before it is too late. And I'd like to have some insight from Professor Agus. Ibu Itje has been talking about literacy. This is the most concerning part in creating the golden generation. But what about your perspective, Professor?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Bu Itje and Bu Putu, and all the listeners of RRI. Yes, I think I agree with Ibu Itje that literacy is a long-standing problem in Indonesia. And even at this moment, we also face a new challenge of literacy compared to the previous one. Previous one, we could only concentrate on the scientific and math literacy and language literacy. But at this moment, we also face a new challenge of literacy, which is digital literacy, where our students are living at this moment. So I really agree with the Ibu Itje that literacy should be the point of interest of, let's say, from our side. We have to prepare the teachers who are aware of this problem, and also they could also later on improve the level of literacy at the student level, either from the basic school and also the middle school and high school. So Ibu Itje has said that literacy is very important, and this is the foundations of solving a lot of problems in the future.
And aside from literacy itself, I would like to move on about. We would like to celebrate the golden generation of Indonesia. We are talking about the, how do we call it, the population surplus, where we have this age or the working demographic bonus, yes. And we do not want this demographic bonus becoming a demographic bomb. We want them to, all of them has jobs. And a lot of things on the internet saying that the current education system and also the existing jobs, well, there is a gap in there. Do you agree with that statement, Professor Agus?
Yes, I think disruptions in technology, especially in information technology, has a lot of influence on the job creations. Some jobs are disappearing. So as I mentioned, therefore the student, either the basic school until the high school, and also the university student should have a few so-called future skills, which is relevant to the situations. Some of the skill that I can mention, especially for teachers, is that digital fluency and innovations, which is very much not in the concerns of the previous higher education system. So we have to prepare our prospective teachers for digital fluency and innovations. Otherwise, they cannot adapt to the situations. And also related to the student, our prospective teachers, our student who will become a teacher, should also have a skill of relational and student-centered focus, which is very much relevant to these situations. And the last one is the adaptability and lifelong learning of the student. That is very important for the Indonesian student who are preparing to be the teachers in the future.
Okay, so it's not only about the students, but not only about the children, but the older generation who are preparing them for the future. And anyway, we got a teacher here, a teacher at Sekolah Rakyat or People's School. We have Putu Riski. Thank you for joining us, Putu. Yes, Putu, I think you are still unmuted. Okay, so Putu, thank you very much for joining us. And as a teacher, we have been talking about literacy. We are talking about preparing teacher and also the students themselves. So we would like to know what kind of skills that actually you prepare for your students, especially for those with underprivileged backgrounds.
Okay, thank you so much for having me once again in this occasion. So there are various values and also skills that we prioritize in here in Sekolah Rakyat. So one of them, when students feel like they feel safe, so that's why they will feel respected, they will feel trusted, and also they will have the confidence to explore themselves, to explore everything that around them. So maybe that's the value and also the skills that we build in here in Sekolah Rakyat.
Okay, this is interesting. Most people will think that schools are mostly about math, about science and things like that. But we finally got self-respect, empathy, resilience, and responsibility. And how easy for you as to our students currently? Is it, or is there any kind of challenges?
It's very challenging actually, because as what you mentioned before, they were coming from underprivileged background. So we have various social background in here, from various life experience from each student. So that's why we need to get that trust. We need to what is that? We need to understand what they feel. We need to feel that what they want actually in this life, because this is the first time they were away from their parents, especially in my school. So without the what is that? The presence of their parents. So we here, the teacher as well as the parents' house or the wali asr and wali asrama in here, we try to be their parents at school. So that's why we're gonna try to make a safe environment for the kids. We taught them how that we can learn from everything, even from their mistakes. So it's okay to make a mistake, but we have to learn from that. So maybe from that they will learn not only from the books, from what they read, from what they watch, but also from experience. So that's it.
Okay, I would like to confirm, Putu, you are teaching at Sekolah Rakyat in which part of Indonesia? In Bali? And what's the name?
Yeah. It's in SRMP 17 Tabanan.
Okay, in Tabanan, Bali. Okay, we will move on again. I will come back to you, Putu. I'd like to go to Bu Itje. Bu Itje, long time ago, as I told, I said previously, we are thinking about, well, we have literacy. It is important, digital literacy and also skills relevant to the current jobs. But in here, we see that self-respect, empathy, resilience, responsibility is also important. And Putu also mentioned about we got children from various backgrounds and various life stories. We do not know what they felt and how they can be well prepared at school. So do you think that the current education system in Indonesia is suitable for all of that backgrounds, or do we need more specific things like this, like Sekolah Rakyat is for the underprivileged children with those kind of stories?
No, I don't think so. Because even in the mainstream schools, in the classroom, teachers face students from different life experience, from students who are underprivileged too. There are many students underprivileged in the mainstream classrooms, and even they're mixed. You know, in a Sekolah Rakyat, students, most likely they are homogeneous. They are from all the same family, economical background. While it is harder in mainstream school because there are students who come from, quite privileged school, privileged family, underprivileged family, or so and so family. They all together in one class. But actually, education should aim the same, developing resilience, developing collaboration skills, communication skills. Those can be done, of course, not through textbook, but through the learning experience that the teacher creates. School doesn't mean learning material. School should provide learning experience using certain materials. But the most important is learning experience which developed by the teachers. Yeah. So that's why in this case, the role of the teacher, those skills that students need to develop should be owned by the teacher first. Teacher who teaches children, they have to be resilient. They have to have communication skills. They have to have collaboration skills. All those skills that we need to develop in the children, teachers should have it first in order that they can develop resilience through mathematics, develop resilience, collaboration through Bahasa Indonesia, through PKN. So those subject matters are actually just the media to develop their literacy and the student's character.
Okay, so the teachers need also to be the role model of everything that they want to teach to the students. Okay, Professor.
And one more thing. Digital is very important, but too much focus on digital will also dangerous for the kids. Why? Because if it is only about using the digital devices, they are able. But the most important is their attitude towards the digital life. And the working condition now, I mean the industry now, do not want those who only master using the digital devices, but more on those who have the soft skill better. They can collaborate, they can communicate, they have very strong resilience. Those are needed in the working life. Yeah, not just the digital skill.
They also need skills in real life, not only on the digital scape. And Professor Agus, do you have anything to add to this?
Yes, I just want to emphasize what Ibu Putu has mentioned, that student-teachers relations in this era is very important. These relations could increase the empathy of the teacher to the student, the empathy among the students, and also the teachers could also become a mental health advocate for their students. This is very important at this era. And also, just to add to what Ibu Itje has mentioned, what we have to prepare for the student to be the teachers in the future is that they have to have the ability to teach the student to responsibly use the digital things. So not only using the digital, but how using the digital in a responsible manner. I think that is my add to Bu Itje and Ibu Putu.
Okay, so responsibility is very important, and I'd like to turn around back to Ibu Putu. You said that this is the first time for them to be away from their family, and we know family is also important for education. So do you have any kind of worry that when they go back to their family, they will, while all those teaching about the empathy, responsibility will be challenged to them?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. So at first we kind of afraid that they cannot adapt in the school, in the beginning of the school. But when time keeps going on, I mean, they can have their trust with us, whether it's for the teacher, with the wali asrama, wali asrama. So that we try to make them feel safe in here. We try to make them safe and care. So when they feel safe, they will give them their trust. So that's why they will be coming with us here. So it doesn't mean that they don't need the family anymore, but it's just we can be a second place in their heart, something like that.
Yes, and what I mean by my question is that after the school and for some period they'll go back to their family, and I mean we know that they are from underprivileged families and they experience, maybe some of them are experiencing bad things at home, and it's quite different from at schools. Do you worry that all that teachings about this empathy, about the responsibility will be turned around again by the family back at home?
Okay, so before we let the students get back to their house, so we have like kind of a meeting with the parents about how we have to collaborate, both the teachers as well as the parents, of how to maintain their responsibility, what do they have to do every day. So all their habit that they got at school and also the dorm will still keep going on when they come back to their house. So the communication between the teacher as well as the parents is still important in here. So we keep communicating through the group. So we have kind of a group. So we know what do our students do at the house when they were away with us. So yeah, maybe the communication and also the commitment, yes, between the students as well as the parents to us with the teacher.
Okay, and actually I do believe that this discussion can go longer, but I only got one final question for the three of you. We have been talking about the golden generation for Indonesia in the future, but I would like to know, what do you think? What is your definition of that golden generation of Indonesia? And what is the best practice to reach that? I'd like to start from Ibu Itje and then Professor Agus and also Bu Putu. Please, Bu Itje.
Yes, golden generation is where the young people who lived at that time settled with their job. They can, the level of unemployment is low. Everybody get, life and the index kualitas manusia kita naik at a certain level. And they all, those young people, they can live, at the average life of at that time, yeah, because it's 2045. And then secondly, I think to reach that moment, we have to really prepare consistent policy which help everyone to achieve that moment where young people who live in those range of years, they are employed and they have job, they earn living. That's my definition.
Okay, and we go with Professor Agus. Your definition, also the best practice to reach that.
Yeah, to my view, golden generations is that a generation that has a main role in the nation's building, in the nation development and prosperity. So by the time most of the economic activities are done by their generations, So to achieve that, I think the government should not only focus on this education at the basic school to high school level, but also for education to prepare the teacher. So that in the future they can contribute to the preparations of these golden generations.
Okay, thank you for Professor Agus. And going on to Putu, what is your definition? And also the best way to achieve that?
Okay, so golden generation for me, it's, those people, it's not only that academically great or having a high level cognitive, high cognitive level, but it also those who has emotional stable state, and how can they maintain their social relationship with people around them. So this golden generation is not only those students, but it's also us, the teachers, because we are the one that shape the students. So that's why we need to be better first to shape them, to design them, to forge them to be even a better version of themselves for the students. So because we say it as a golden, it can be it can be received by train them, by focus on how to make them learn from anything around them. And that's why we have to maintain and try to make them better version of themselves. Maybe that's all.
Okay, this is very interesting. We need to be better first, not only us individually. This is in line with what Bu Itje has said, that about the policy to be better, the government also to be preparing better, not only for the students but also the teachers. And of course, this also applies to everybody who are listening to this discussion. We also need to be better to forge them all. And I'd like to say thank you very much for Bu Itje, Professor Agus, and also Putu for joining us on this conversation. And I have one very nice quote from a show from the BBC. It's called Doctor Who. There is the word, "Great men are forged in fire, and it is a privilege of the lesser man to light up the flame." So let's light up the flame to make sure that those great men in the future will be forged nicely. Well, listener, you can listen again to this on our YouTube channel, VOI Official. Thank you, Bu Putu. Thank you, Bu Itje, and also Professor Agus. See you next time.
My pleasure. See you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Bu Itje.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice to meet you too, Pak Agus. Bye-bye.
See you.
Same, Pak Agus.
Voice of Indonesia.